In the vast world of rock music, there are musicians, and then there are icons. Some are remembered for their technique, others for their stage presence. A rare few are remembered for their spirit, the kind of energy that moves crowds, uplifts bandmates, and shakes something loose in the soul of a listener. Taylor Hawkins was one of those rare few. For more than 2 decades, he sat behind the drum kit of Foo Fighters, not in the background, but in the heartbeat of the band. He was fierce, he was joyful, he was chaotic in the best way. And most of all, he was unforgettable. His blonde hair flying, his grin wide and wild. Taylor was the kind of performer who made every show feel like a once-in-a-lifetime event. But before he joined Foo Fighters, Taylor had already carved out his place in the music world. From his early days drumming for Alanis Morissette to his rise through the ranks of rock, his talent was undeniable. Then came the moment that would change his life, and the band's forever. Dave Grohl, who had been the legendary drummer of Nirvana, was now fronting Foo Fighters. As someone who deeply understood the role of a drummer, Grohl didn't just look for skill, he looked for soul. And when he chose Taylor, it was more than a lineup decision. It was a partnership, a brotherhood. And from the moment Taylor Hawkins joined the band in 1997, Foo Fighters evolved into something far greater than a post-grunge project. They became a family, a force of nature, with Dave and Taylor forming the kind of musical bond that you don't plan, you just discover. Taylor wasn't a sideman. He was a frontman with drumsticks. His playing was ferocious, alive, full of nuance and raw power. He could switch from delicate rhythms to earth-shattering beats with a single flick of the wrist. But beyond that, he was a showman, a storyteller through rhythm. He sang. He joked. He smiled. He burned like a comet across every stage he graced. Through albums like There Is Nothing Left to Lose, One by One, Echoes, Silence, Patience and Grace, and many more, Taylor's fingerprints are all over the Foo Fighters' most iconic tracks. His chemistry with Dave Grohl was so tight, so pure, it elevated the band's performances into something spiritual. Theirs was a bond built on rhythm, respect, and years of sharing hotel rooms, stages, and silence. And then, in March 2022, the unthinkable happened. Taylor Hawkins was gone. The world went quiet. The news sent shockwaves not just through the rock community, but through music itself. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe, from fellow musicians, lifelong fans, and artists who had once shared the stage with him. Taylor wasn't just mourned. He was remembered, celebrated, grieved as a brother, a father, a friend. For Foo Fighters, the loss was more than professional. It was personal. The silence behind the drums wasn't just physical. It was emotional. After all, how do you continue without the person who gave your music its pulse? But in true Foo Fighters fashion, the band chose not to crumble, but to rise, to carry forward the legacy their brother left behind. They knew they could never replace Taylor. That was impossible. But they could honor him by playing, by living, by continuing. And so when they brought in Josh Freese, an industry veteran known for his work with everyone from Nine Inch Nails to the Vandals to Sting, it wasn't about filling a void, it was about paying tribute. Josh brought experience, humility, and heart. He didn't try to be Taylor, he just tried to keep the music alive. And with that, Foo Fighters began to heal, on stage, in the studio, and in the hearts of their fans. Their shows continued. The fans came. The energy returned. But amid all the noise and nostalgia, there was a new name beginning to circulate: Shane Hawkins, Taylor's son. Just a teenager, only 17 years old, Shane stepped onto the stage during one of the tribute concerts for his father. He was surrounded by legends, facing thousands of grieving fans. And yet, he played. And not just adequately, he played with fury, with precision, with something deeper than notes. Shane Hawkins played like someone who had known rhythm his entire life. Because he had. He'd grown up with drumsticks in his hands and rock and roll in his ears. He had watched his father from backstage, from sound checks, from quiet moments at home. Taylor had introduced him to music not just as a craft, but as a lifestyle. It wasn't something you did, it was something you became. So when Shane hit those drums, people didn't just see a grieving son, they saw a torchbearer. A legacy continued. A heartbeat revived. Fans watched in awe as he poured himself into the music his father had helped shape. Some said it was like watching Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins merged into one. Others just smiled through tears, knowing that somehow, something beautiful was happening, right before their eyes. And the speculation began. Could Shane one day become the drummer for Foo Fighters? Could the son of a legend take up his father's sticks and write the next chapter of the band's story? Fans certainly think so. One comment on Threads captured the sentiment perfectly. Come on, one day he will be a permanent member of Foo Fighters. He has an extraordinary game, just like his father. And while the idea remains a dream for now, it's not far-fetched. Because Shane has more than a name. He has the gift. He has the passion. And perhaps most importantly, he has time. At 17, there's still room for him to grow, to learn, to evolve into the drummer and the man he is meant to be. But already, in the few moments we've seen, he's shown enough. Enough to know that the spirit of Taylor Hawkins isn't gone, it's echoing. In every beat, in every crash of the cymbals, in every crowd that chants his name, Taylor Hawkins will never be replaced. He will never be forgotten. He will be remembered as one of the greatest drummers of his time, a man who loved life, music, his band, and his family. And as for Shane, the future is unwritten, but it holds promise. Because sometimes, when one light goes out, another begins to shine. And maybe, just maybe, the next great chapter of the Foo Fighters has already begun, with a young drummer, a father's legacy, and a world of music still waiting to be played.